STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is critical to the future of our country.
One is the extraordinary evidence of human creativity. In a place where we have no idea what's going to happen in terms of the future. No idea.
Only the jobs of innovators and entrepreneurs will outsource the global knowledge economy.
Really, extraordinary capacities that children
trade
have.
tables,
Capacities for innovation.
Frankly, we should all be appalled at the idea that a best measure of a teacher's effectiveness is a student's performance on a standardized, multiple-choice English language test. That's quite racist, don't you think?
Put your hands on your head. Put your hands on your hips.
And my contention is all kids have tremendous talents and will squander them pretty ruthlessly.
We are going down.
All students can think, create, solve problems, no matter where they're from, what the color of their skin is, or what language they speak.
Creativity now is as important in education as literacy, and we should treat it with the same status.
And this is the record of the time. This is the time.
You see, charter schools are not the solution to this problem. In fact, it is the charter schools who will rob STEM funding from public schools who house the teachers at the top of their game. Teachers at the top of their game are the solution to the education crisis. Many teachers held hostage to No Child Left Behind are the educators who now need the serious permission to celebrate STEM learning and see that it is brought to the forefront of all schools in this nation.
This is your captain again. You know, I've got this funny feeling I've seen this all before.
What we do know is, if you're not prepared to be wrong, you'll never come up with anything original. If you're not prepared to be wrong. And by the time they get to be adults, most kids have lost that capacity. They have become frightened of being wrong.
Why?
We're now running national education systems where mistakes are the worst thing you can make. And the result is that we are educating people out of their creative capacity.
We need to believe strongly in accountability for improved student learning. However, most policymakers and many school administrators have absolutely no idea what kind of instruction is required to produce students who can think critically and creatively, communicate effectively, and collaborate versus merely score well on a test. Most are also clueless about what kind of teaching best motivates this generation to learn. And the tests that policymakers continue to use as an indication of educational progress do not measure any of the skills that matter most today. And the evidence must be recognized that students of any nationality or ability will give of themselves fully and intrinsically in any learning environment when they know they are not being timed, tested, graded, or judged.
Stand by. This is the time. And this is the record of the time.
What happens when 7 top-of-the-game public school teachers receive a grant from the Leonardo and Artworks for Kids? They receive an extraordinary visit to the Leonardo with a hands-on STEM training intensive. Oh, it missed! How'd it miss? Did we move the bucket?
Someone moved it. We have to do it again. We have to do it again. Again.
I can't believe it missed. You gotta fail.
You gotta fail.
Then the teachers were handed an excellent read for the book Study, Creativity in the Classroom, Schools of Curious Delight by Elaine Jordan Starko, that sparks curious reminders of what is seriously missing in most learning. Divergent and convergent thinking skills and strategies, scamper techniques for new ideas and innovation, productive thinking revisited times 10, brainstorming practices and important rules for brainstorming, the many, many reminders of how our brain stores information in categories.
Creativity is the way you express yourself. Singing and my dancing. Art and sometimes emotions. Art. Draw was like mixing colors instead of just doing the colors that they really are. I make it to draw.
I didn't even see these connections in math, especially I would say. They were really limited in their understanding of what creativity was. Their only opportunities in school to be creative were during our art times. And so this is the information that going into this project we're really going to look at, and can we change some of those stereotypes the students have and kind of show them other subjects where they get to be creative and other ways that they are creative and kind of enlighten them in that aspect.
We're all born with the capacity to think. You can all think. And even bees and all the parts. iPhone. Technology. So what do I do? Nope. I go like this. Okay? I don't need to write the category twice. I just do a line from the other object to what it is. Car? Machine. Divergent thinking. Finding the new. Critical thinking is when you try to pull it together, you judge, you make decisions, you solve problems. Okay, so there's some ideas that already exist and some other ideas that already exist, and you bring them together to create something new. That is how most inventions happen. Most inventions are where people take an idea.
Oh, Superman. Great guy. It's human arms. Two superhero legs. And then this
Superpower gonna be.
It's a potato alien.
A potato alien? Does it eat potatoes or shoot potatoes?
Shoot potatoes.
Ooh, that's a pretty heavy weapon so far. Set it down so I can see it.
Oh, John.
Ooh, very cool. Okay, so what's his superpower?
He could use any.
What the superpower is gonna be?
Power of kindness. No! He needs to save the world, dude.
Whoa, what is his superpower be if he was gonna save the world?
Ooh, super senses. Super senses? Well, not really. No, super senses is super speed. Defensive power. Super speed? I can't believe I'm working this. Okay.
We put all pieces in together too, and he has a wing to protect his home.
No, algae actually has cell walls that are really soft. Okay, and most plants have hard cell walls. Alright, so in that way, it's a lot like bananas.
Hello?
They are bacteria.
Is anybody home? Well, you don't know
The
me,
best teacher
Awesome.
so far. It looks so...
but I know
It looks like paper, but it's really plastic. What else can you observe about it?
First, I thought that it was glass, but then I
to give to you.
Yeah, very good observation.
you better get ready.
Don't you want to crawl inside
Ready
of it
to
and
go.
explore?
You can come as you are. But pay as you go. Pay as you go. And I said, okay, who is this really? And the voice said, this is the hand that takes. This is the hand that takes. This is the hand.
Okay, the students are creating an assignment right now where they are in charge of building some type of transportation for 200 years in the future. They had to identify where they were going to travel to, and then they had to have their design be inspired by algae in some sense, because we have covered algae and its movements, its designs, its shapes, and how it changes. And so now they're creating transportation inspired by the discoveries that they've made today.
And the voice said, neither snow nor rain, nor
I think that if we would have done this since it'd be like a week ago, we would have put all these supplies in front of them, and probably 5 of them would have even arrived. Maybe.
You think?
Yeah, I truly do.
Yeah.
and when justice is gone, there's always force. And when force is gone, there's always mom. Hi, mom. So hold me, mom. So hold me, mom. And you're in your automatic car. Your electronic in your
optic networks, right? And the internet. This is how the internet works, right? Yeah. Electricity
So
is light wave, right? Computers work off of electricity. Okay? So we can take this light wave and send it really, really fast. How fast does light travel?
Oh, how fast?
How fast?
Faster than light.
It travels at the speed. Not faster than the speed of light, right? 300 million. We got 300 million.
Light to go all the way around.
Yeah, it's got one beam, one transfer point going between here and here, right? Now hold it up just a little bit and bounce it off the paper. Go ahead and lift the laser and bounce it off the paper to go through it. Just like that. Yep. Okay. So now we're getting more points coming through. So transfer and wrap around material. Okay. So my fingers, I separate them apart. Okay. I bring them in, and it's just red and green right there. If I open them up, it bends them apart, and it'll combine them with a little bit of yellow. So we start getting that yellow. And the neat thing is, this is a mirror, so you bounce that off. Put something else in front of it.
That's awesome.
So does it go through the wiggly stuff?
Yeah.
Goes through the wiggly stuff, but then the other stuff, what does it do?
Like normal. Red, blue, black, and yellow.
You guys see these colors in front of my hand or behind my hand? Why behind my hand and not in front of my hand? Because there's no matter between these light bulbs and my hand there, right? My hand is the matter, so between here, it's still white light, right? So over here, we're able to separate those light bulbs because it's bending around matter, the matter being my hand. Okay? So by moving my fingers, I'm actually rotating and bending the
How to work well with other people. A teacher, I think, imagination and discovery is the way you express yourself. You can do anything with creativity. It's hard for math and it can be fun at the same time. You have two things and you put them together, that makes a new thing.
I believe our only hope for the future is to adopt a new conception of human ecology, one in which we start to reconstitute our conception of the richness of human capacity. Our education system has mined our minds in the way that we strip mine the earth for a particular commodity. And for the future, it won't serve us. We have to rethink the fundamental principles on which we're educating our children. There was a wonderful quote by Jonas Salk who said, if all the insects were to disappear from the earth, within 50 years, all life on earth would end. If all human beings disappeared from the earth, within 50 years, all forms of life would flourish. It's by seeing our creative capacities for the richness they are and seeing our children for the hope that they are. And our task is to educate their whole being so they can face this future. By the way, we may not see this future, but they will. And our job is to help them make something of it.